there are automatically compromises to be made. And in advance, I have to apologize to my French mates, but I will say it, and I will say it clear and loud. Yes, there is a way to eat cheeses differently than in France. In America, people consume cheeses as a snack before a meal. I know. Hi everyone, for those who don't know me yet, my name is Margot and I'm a French citizen. I decided 8 years ago to study abroad in Boston and then to come back in France. But guess what? I did not come back. And after a certain numbers of non-permanent working visas, I'm now a proud and happy permanent resident working and living in New York City. This abroad life experience changed my life to the point that I cannot compare those two cultures anymore. Of course, there were a stage, the first years, where I still had my native references in me, but after that, I entered a twilight zone where I fully encountered that the new culture I was embracing was not better, not worse, just different. And this is about those differences I want to chat on this channel. Let me share some insights for my non-French viewers. By the way, I would love to know in the comment section below where you're from. So let's explain the apéro, which is not to be confused with an appetizer. L'apéro is a whole moment in the French culture. It's a way to invite informally people over and to create connections. So the apéro will take place at the time where it's logical to or okay to have a drink, let's say during the weekdays 5-6 p.m. or during the weekend would be maybe 11 or just before lunch. And it's a chill moment where we're going to share snacks, and if the conversation goes well, there will be a follow-up, meaning you will be invited to stay over for the meal. So it's very chill, it's very important, it's very joyful and cheerful moment in the French culture. The apéro will include snacks, savory snacks as dry meats, pâté, olives, nuts, and it will be paired with wine or sweet wines like Porto or Martini, which is not a cocktail in France, but a brand of vermouth. At first it was a stretch for my American friends because they shared with us later that they were not very used to the flexibility of time and they were scared they overstayed. While with my husband we were just enjoying the moment and we totally forgot about the time. So this is definitely what I did as a shift, is that I incorporated the request of my American friends to add cheeses in this apéro, and the apéro became a kind of buffet-ish moment that was absolutely complete and didn't need an after meal. Just to precise for my non-French friends, in France, the cheese is going to be eaten in the meal, but after the main course with some greens. A very small piece of cheese, we don't need to have plenty of it, but just a little bite of it with some greens. My non-American, neither non-French husband made me notice that there was a kind of protocol in France around meals. The way it was composed, the time it was offered, the way that we had to wait that everybody was seated before eating the first bite, etc., etc. I was not aware of that until I traveled in the world and I was sharing meals with people on other parts of the world. Anyway, just to say that the composition of the apéro changed, but the spirit stayed, and it seems to be very appreciated by all the friends who are not French visiting us. There was a small detail that I was doing without noticing it, and a friend of mine said to me one day, "Oh, your apéro looks so lovely," and I was just like, "No, it looks normal to me." I asked my husband, he said, "Well, these plates you are decorating with either fruits or dry meat or whatsoever, set up for the whole thing. You don't need all the decoration." And I scratched my head thinking, where does it come from? And it was so natural to me because I always saw my mom did that doing that because she was a painter, and she was a painter in her spare time, and she always had this idea that one element of the whole would set the whole tone. So I asked my husband, oh, okay, so it seems natural to me, but I'm sure other people do it in the part of the world. And he said to me, yeah, maybe they do, but it's very French. If you like this video, please give a thumb up, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Were you familiar with this apéro thing before? Or will you be willing to try one once? Let me know in the comment section below. Next episode, let's talk about wine and cheese in New York City. Did my French roots made me a picky person about those two topics? Stay tuned. À bientôt. Ciao.